Thank you for joining us today for the Innovation World podcast. Innovation World is your go-to source for all things innovation, invention, and entrepreneurship. Our website is www.innovationworld.org.
Welcome to the Innovation World podcast
Thank you for
series.
joining us today
My name is
for the
Julie
Innovation World
Shively.
podcast.
I am the
Innovation
founder
World is
of
your
Innovation
go-to
World
source for
and
all things
co-founder
innovation,
of the Global
invention, and
Innovation Field
entrepreneurship.
Trip.
Our
We're very
website
happy
is
to be with you today. I'd like to introduce my co-host, Jake Mendelson. Say hello, Jake.
Hello, Jake.
Jake is also co-founder of the Global Innovation Field Trip. Thanks for joining me, Jake. And we have a great show, but before we get started, why don't we talk about a couple things coming up? We have the Global Innovation Field Trip happening on October 15th and 16th. And the Global Innovation Field Trip, which is known as GIFT, is a virtual 24-hour virtual multi-country celebration of young innovators across the world. It's an opportunity for young students to join us in a 10 or 25-minute presentation setting and share their innovation stories with us. And I happen to know that the guest that we're having on today has done this multiple times. He might be able to tell you how many times, I can't remember, but it seems like he's with us every GIFT program, almost every single one of them. So we look forward to the day he gets a little bit older and becomes a student co-host for the program too. So if you are interested in joining us, you would be a young innovator or a program or organization that supports and inspires young innovators. All you have to do is reach out to the globalinnovationfieldtrip.org and find all the information that you need on it. What else is going on, Jake? Anything else to report?
Well, yes, but you might want to mention that even though you talked about the gift that's occurring in October, that there's going to be another one in January and another one in April. So no matter when you're listening to this podcast, there's another gift coming up.
Very true. We do these quarterly. Yes, January, April, October. I missed one. January, April, July, and October. And I know what you're going to say, Jake. You're going to say, well, how much does it cost? Right?
Yeah.
I know. They're absolutely free. It does not cost anything to present your innovation story, and it does not cost you anything to watch people from around the world present. We do this because we love to support youth innovation. And that's all it takes for us. So there are some pretty interesting things happening in this gift. And I'll say it now too, so that our student that we have today can also hear it. There's going to be a student mashup, something new we started last gift. It's an hour of unscripted conversation between students around the world. And it starts with an educator, and she's asking a couple questions, but it's really intended to be kind of an ad lib situation for students so that they can talk about what's important to them and share it with other people around the world. That happens on this gift. Also, we are launching a call to action challenge, a gift climate change call to action. And we'll be talking about this for a segment of gift, but it is an opportunity for students to put on their activism or advocate hats and create a 30-second, maybe it's a minute or less video about their favorite climate change topic and create a call to action with that. Kids are going to have from this gift program, which is October 15th, 16th, all the way to December 19th to complete and submit their video. And the top 3 videos selected will earn $100 each, $100 US each. So get your thinking caps on. We could use your help. This world could use your help. We also have a segment on this time about a new student cohort that the Innovation World Alliance is creating, which is a place where students can meet, students who want to move their ideas forward can meet together with other students and with some members of the Alliance, and they can work on how to move their inventions forward or their innovations forward, with each other offering advice to the other students and supporting those students. So that's another thing we'll be talking about on this gift program. I think I've copied or covered all of those relevant updates, Jake.
There's also the SDG discussion group that's going on, the Global Goals Accelerator program, the platform where the students are going to be talking about addressing the sustainable development goals. And that's going on twice actually during GIFT. So if you're interested in that, please, you have to register because they want to make sure that, get people the right time to sign up. But that's another interesting thing.
Yeah, it is. I think that our guests would enjoy doing that. Okay, so if somebody wants to learn more about what's going on at the Global Innovation Field Trip, they can go to globalinnovationfieldtrip.org, and you can find there the link to be a viewer. You can also find a link to become a presenter for the program. I know that it's filling up very quickly, but we do have some spots left. So if you're hearing this and you want to join in, just send us a note or fill out one of the forms, and we'll have the presentation schedule up there probably in about a few days, Jake, or a week. Or...
Yes, I'm going to get it done a week before because people are still signing up. So a week before GIFT, so it'll be about the 7th or 8th of October.
Perfect. And so if you're an educator and you're looking for what programs you want your kids to watch, you should be able to go in at about that time frame and look for the schedule and pick out presentations for your students. All right.
And if you miss a presentation because it was at 3 o'clock in the morning your time, they are all later going to be posted up on YouTube.
Actually, they're posted on our website. They're posted at the globalinnovationfieldtrip.org, and all you have to do is click on watch presenters, and you can find every single recording we've ever done. And I think that's before this gift, it's somewhere around 700 recordings from or about youth innovation around the world. So quite the resource library. All right. I think we're ready to get started. I would love to introduce Mr. Nirbhuy Arun, who is a, let's see, I would guess he's an 8 or 9 time presenter at the Global Innovation Field Trip, but he can correct me when he comes on. So Nirbhuy, why don't you introduce yourself like you would like to and tell everybody where you're from, how old you are, and then we could talk a little bit about innovation.
So I'm Nirbhuy Arun, and I am from Richland, Washington State, and I go to Children's Garden Montessori, and I'm 7 years old, and I'm in 2nd grade.
Great, and you're an innovator.
Uh-huh.
And how old were you when you first became an innovator?
Like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 years old?
Uh-huh.
Wow. I must have been a really lazy 4 or 5 year old because I don't think I had the capability of doing these things at that age. What got you interested in becoming an innovator, Nirbhuy?
So the thing that made me interested in becoming an innovator is that especially the electronics. The first time I saw an electronic kid was when I was 5.5. I saw these cool Arduino boards and LED lights with breadboards, and I was curious of seeing what these components were, and that brought me to this level where I could use sensors and programming to make a larger scale of a model.
Very interesting. And I know that you've made a couple inventions, but probably you've made a lot more than I even know about. I think the first one that I remember of yours might have been a scooter broom.
Yeah, it's a Scooty brush.
Scooty brush, but which sweeps the floor instead of a broom, yes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And did you make anything before that?
That was actually almost the first time I did that, mainly.
I remember you were very young. I think you might have been 4, and
Yes,
you came on the
you're right.
Global Innovation Field Trip that time. And I can remember seeing your mom was sitting close to the camera, and you just kept scootering out of the room really far away. We had to keep calling you back because you were little. You know, you didn't know that you had to stay by the camera or anything, but it was very cute. And to be 4 years old, maybe you were almost 5 then, but to be that age and to be able to use these devices or use these what I consider complex electronics, but I guess they're not very complex for you, is pretty remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Sure.
So can you tell us what you'd like to talk about today?
Oh, sure. So let me start my presentation. I've already introduced myself. So today, our model we're going to talk about is Scooty Bubble Blower, a device to calm down autistic kids. So our project objective is to develop a machine that moves and blows bubbles to calm and cool down autistic kids while they have fun. Our model is different because it blows bubbles when someone walks in front or walks behind. What I mean, like walks in front or walks in behind, means that the Scooty will chase you or you chase the Scooty. That's the thing.
That sounds like it could be a scary movie. If I have Scooties chasing me all over the place.
I know, but it's it's not 100 Scooties coming behind.
Oh, just one.
Oh.
Okay.
So this is the consumer survey and the model uniqueness. So according to this pie chart over here, over 40% of the people are interested in the Scooty Bubble Blower. They said that the bubbles will not only keep autistic kids happy, but also make them feel included and involved, and improves eye contact. So in the current models which are out on the market today, you should, when you ride the scooter, the bubbles blow. There's that kind of mechanism there. But in this one, this model, our model rides by itself, and it doesn't need anybody to move it. So, and then it blows bubbles. Yes, that's familiar. But to use the model, you turn on the switch, and then we have 2 ultrasonic sensors, one in the front and one behind. And when you walk near it, it starts to move. And if you walk away from it, it stops moving. So that's basically what happens.
When you walk towards it, Nirbhuy, is it moving towards you or away from you when you approach it?
Depending on which sensor you're walking near. Like if you take the back sensor, then it walks away from you and it moves away from you. But when you're in front of it, it comes toward you.
Okay. So it wants to escape you if you're sneaking up behind it. But if you're in front of it, it becomes the predator and it's coming after you.
Basically, that's what it is.
I love it.
And it will also make bubbles as usual.
Yeah, bubbles are cool.
And this is the design process of the first model. So, to set your mind, this is an example. For example, you're walking through a store and you're getting some kind of stuff there, and you want to get some kind of stuff that you need there, and you don't know, where that thing is. And now the thing is that you're asking another person who's in the store, hey, can you please help me find this? So that's how you should think of it. Now, so the phone is your client, and it's sending a request to the Arduino board. A few years ago, I showed you about the humidifier one. So the humidifier used the client and server method. Now this is the same thing when it comes here. So the client is sending its question, it's what it wants to the Arduino board, and the Arduino board, which is the server, receives what all the client needs and then responds back in this way. The Arduino board sends the commands to the edge bridge to say, okay, start moving, and then in response to the client's request, the motor starts running and the bubble blower starts blowing bubbles. So that was how the first model worked. Oh, sorry. There was some challenges to this one too. So I take scenario number. There are two scenarios. Scenario number 1 and scenario number 2. So let's take scenario number 1. In scenario number 1, you're at home and testing this in your floor, on your floor. Then nobody will see your username and password, and then it's all good. You have privacy. But then when you go to an artistic center, then you'll in scenario number 2, you'll have to change your password and then run it. And in the meanwhile time of changing your password, somebody might sneak up on your password, and then you'll have some privacy issues. So this is the final design, power, and data connection. Let's start off with the data connections. So let's jump right into the ultrasonic sensor. Again, let's use scenario number 1 and scenario number 2. In scenario number 1, you turned on this model, and then but you don't keep your hand 10 centimeters away from it. Then, like if you put 1 feet, then this won't move. Then let's go to scenario number 2. Let's take the same thing again and say that this Arduino board, these ultrasonic sensors if you take your hands near the ultrasonic sensor, like 10 centimeters, in between 10 centimeters, then it will start running, and your motors will start running, and your bubble blower will start working. And now let's dive into the power connections. The batteries, we have 2 batteries, and each one is 6 volts. You can tell that, and it's 12 volts, and it's a 12-volt battery altogether. And then first, it all starts with the Arduino board. An Arduino board has a VIN pin. That VIN pin, if you put it in the positive connections, you won't. This Arduino board won't work. So we put the positive of that battery into the VIN pin so that this Arduino board works. Now let's be specific and really go into the power connection. The ultrasonic sensor gets the power from the Arduino board. The relay gets the power from the Arduino board. The hedge bridge also gets the power from from the battery. And because ground is common, we take we put another ground from that hedge bridge, and then also put the same ground. One ground goes to the battery, and one ground goes to the Arduino. You understand? Like when you say there are 2 holes, 2 wires go through one same socket, which makes it harder to do that. But then the another thing is that but then there's the hedge bridge gets the power from the batteries, and the motors get power from the edge bridge, and the bubble blower gets the power from the bubble blower gets the power. So, lastly, this is our business model. It's a kit for all do-it-yourself enthusiasts. For all people who like to do things by themselves and do some models by handiwork, a do-it-yourself kit will be shipped. This kit will have ultrasonic sensors, motors, wires, batteries, Arduino board, a hedge bridge, and a relay. So if you have any questions, please ask.
Nirbhuy, you're going to be putting together a kit with all the parts. Are you going to be supplying the software for this device also?
Yes, we do have an instruction guide which can also include the code, how to write the code, and we need to use Arduino IDE to program.
Good, good. And this is going to be open source so that people can modify it if they want?
Yeah, sure.
For the people who are listening to the podcast and did not see the video, Nirbhuy showed a plan with all the parts, all the specific parts from the H-bridge to the ultrasonic sensors to the motors. That was very impressive.
Thank you so much.
When they get the parts, it's step by step on how to put everything together?
Yes.
Very good. Will you also give them a electronic schematic of all the parts? I mean, how things put together?
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking is I think this would be a great educational tool for schools so that the students can follow what you have done, not just build it and not know how it works, but follow what you have done. So if you sold this to a school, would you be available for, consulting to talk to the other students who bought this and help them?
Yes.
Just want to note there that when Nirbhuy said yes, he then did the right thing and looked over his shoulder and confirmed that with his mother. So good job, Nirbhuy. Always good to ask mom first before you make those commitments.
No, actually, he said yes, and then he.
Well, yes, he did, but he did end up confirming. He had time to change his answer if he had to. So, do you have these for sale already, or you're just getting ready to start selling them soon?
We are getting ready to start selling them soon.
Where will you sell them, Nirbhuy?
For any DIY enthusiast.
No, where? Are you going to put them on Amazon, or will you have your own website, or what's your plan?
I'm not sure about that, but
okay.
We haven't really thought really about that, but we are seeing more before we even ship it. We need to see what's the losses of this and what's the advantage of it.
Yeah.
Because if it's like it's kind of not like it's not all like it needs to be all trained now. First we are filling up all the limitations and then trying to think about the shipping and stuff.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. if you do end up with a product that you're going to sell, I have a couple suggestions for you. First of all, if it's something that you want to sell and you want to manufacture and you want to take care of that all yourself, that's absolutely fine. But if it's something that you want to sell to someone else or license to somebody else, I think there's a lot of those companies that have boxes that they already sent home with kits for kids. It's possible you could make a deal with one of them to go ahead and distribute it for them. I'm sure they take a fee from it, or you get a fee for anything they sell. I don't know how it works, but you might look into some of those. They're monthly STEM boxes, and that would be a cool thing for a kid to open and to be able to put together and create something. And then you could move on to your next idea and you could continue to do things like that. So that's one thought. Another thought is, if you end up doing this and someday have a product out there and you're selling it on Amazon or on your own website or wherever you're selling it, please let me know, because Innovation World has a product page that they put toys and games and other educational materials on, and it would just simply show a picture of your kit, and then it would link right back to wherever you sell it. We don't take money for it or anything, but we just advertise it for free for you, basically. Okay, so if you get that far, you just let us know and we'll help push it out as far as we can.
Okay, thank you so much.
Great.
So I've had enough tech talk. I have a serious non-tech question for you. What do you do in your spare time not related to circuit boards, technology, electronics, and things like that? What does Nirbhuy like to do when he's not inventing?
Not inventing. And that's creating and that's mainly forming ideas back in my brain to invent next.
Oh no, there's nothing. I mean, do you roller skate? Do you skateboard in real life? Or not skateboard, what, scooter? Do you scooter?
I don't have a scooter. This scooter was used. I used up that scooter for this one.
So do you have a favorite movie, or do you ever do you do anything outside of being a creative wizard?
Okay, that's okay. From being a creative wizard, what I do for break time is either go out for walking. That's one thing. Or else form ideas in my brain.
You just can't help it, can you?
I know.
That's cool. That's very cool. That's okay. Somebody has to think of all these things, right?
I know.
And remind me again, you're 22, right?
I am 7.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Okay.
That's beautiful. You've done some really great things, Nirbhuy. And I'm very proud that we finally got you on our show.
Thank you so much.
And I can't wait to share this podcast with the entire world. All right. Well, Nirbhuy, I want to thank you very much for joining us tonight. We're going to say goodbye to the audience. So stick with us for just a minute. Again, a quick reminder for anybody who wants to replay this, listen to it again later. This can be found on any of the major places that you find your podcasts today, or it can also be found at the Innovation World website. Click on podcast to listen to Nirbhuy or share it with your classroom. I'm sure that they would love it. And anybody interested in participating in the October 15th or any upcoming Global Innovation Field Trip, go to globalinnovationfieldtrip.org to learn more about it. Nirbhuy, thank you.
Thank you.
Dave Mendelson, thank you. And we'll see you again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today for the Innovation World podcast. Innovation World is your go-to source for all things innovation, invention, and entrepreneurship. Our website is www.innovationworld.org.